Crafters. Today we are going to use two stamp sets. We're going to use Crafting Forever and It Starts with Art. We'll combine these two and we're going to create what's called a floating frame card. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to stamp your images. Now I use these stamp sets, so you can use whatever stamp set you want, and I'll show you a couple of examples at the end. But you're going to stamp your images onto the card, and then you're going to color them with your Stampin' Blends, your Stampin' Write markers, your blender pens, whatever medium that you want to use to do the coloring. And then when you're done, you're going to put them in the Big Shot and cut them out, or fussy cut the ones that don't have a die. After you've done that, you're then going to place all your fussy cut or die cut images onto a 5 1/4 by 4 inch piece of cardstock. I'm using white cardstock for today's card. So you're just going to position them all onto your paper. I would suggest for the first card that you do not having any images overlapping. It will work with overlapping images, you just have to be a little bit more careful. So for your first card, I wouldn't suggest any overlapping. Then you're going to get the Magic Press and Seal, and then you're going to cut off a piece of that, and then you're going to put it over top of your images that you've put onto that white, and then you're going to rub them so that they are sticking to your cardstock. Then after you've done that, you're going to peel off the excess, or not peel off, but you're going to cut off the excess press and seal. So just, I've used an awful lot, but you don't need to use that much. So you're just going to cut it around. So I just kind of trimming it, getting the big pieces off first, and then I will get in closer on my second go around. So you're just going to cut as close as you can to the edges, getting all the extra press and seal off, and then any images that are overlapping off the edge of the card, you're going to cut them off as well. You can make your finishing touches when you're done, just before you assemble your card, but for now just get it off as close as you can. Then you're going to decide which die you want to use to cut out your center. I'm going to use an actual square one from the Layering Squares, and I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to run it through the Big Shot, and I'll be left with two pieces. One is the frame, and then one is the center square piece. Okay, so then what you're going to do next is you're going to flip over your cardstock, and then you're going to slowly peel off the white cardstock, and you're going to do it so that your images are left stuck to the press and seal. Okay, and there you have it. Then we're going to add dimensionals to all the pieces that are on your press and seal. I'm just using the mini dimensionals, and some of the pieces are pretty tiny, and I want to see if I can't leave them on there, so I'm just going to cut little strips and then I'm going to put all the dimensionals on and then peel off the backing. We'll do the center square as well for now. So then after you've got all your pieces or your dimensionals on and the backing off, then we're going to proceed to our next step of assembling your card. Okay, so I'm going to take another 5 1/4 by 4 inch. Now you could flip that piece of floating press and seal over top, but it's easier really to just adhere your cardstock to the piece. And then you're just going to rub it on to the back, flip it over, and then rub it again some more, so that now your images are actually going to be stuck to that white piece of cardstock. Now you're going to, sorry, so you see that I used adhesive to tape it on and then adhere it to the card. Now we're going to very gently pull off the press and seal from the images, so you're being left with the images onto that white cardstock. And you just pull it off slowly and use your finger to hold down the images. And then we're going to stamp a greeting in the center. And there you got it. So when you look at it, you'll see that all the pieces, they're all being held up by the dimensionals. And then for we've got the centerpiece, and we can make a second card out of that. So I'm just going to stick that on. And then once again, I'm just going to peel off the press and seal, leaving behind all the bits and pieces of all the stamped and colored edges. They're all going to stay on with the dimensionals. Okay, and then again, we're going to stamp a greeting. And then we'll assemble the card. For this one, I wanted to use ribbon, and I was going to put it across the center there, but I forgot, and I didn't leave enough room with the greeting, so I'm going to just stick it down the side, or run it down the side. So I'll just adhere that to the back so it stays on there, and then I'll adhere the card front to the card base, just using my adhesive. And then I've just tied a little circle there, so I will just cut that circle so that I'm left with the finished ribbon. There you have it. So 2 cards, really easy to do, kind of a fun technique, something new and different to try, and you've got 2 cards out of the one. So, and you can use any stamp set. This one here, I used Colorful Seasons, really pretty colors, and I used the rectangle layering dies for that one. And then for the other one, I just used the It Starts With Art again, and I used the oval to cut it out. So you can see that you can use whatever you want. What's the word I'm looking for? Shape. So that's about it. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to email me, and have fun and share with me the ones that you make. Love to see them soon. Thank you so much for watching.